Tonight on 12 News at 5:30, Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz are continuing campaigning across the country. We bring you the latest from the trail, plus a terror plot targeting a popular music star's tour uncovered. We tell you where this happened and the impact it will have on the tour. And CDC officials are urging parents to get their children vaccinated against a certain disease before school starts. This and so much more, all starting right now.
From WBNG, the Southern Tier's #1 local news. This is 12 News at 5:30.
Thank you for staying with us here at 5:30. Once again, I'm Zach Grady. The Democratic ticket is going back on the road today with a stop in Michigan before heading to Arizona for a rally tomorrow. Vice President Kamala Harris appears to be gaining momentum on former President Donald Trump after securing the nomination and naming a new vice presidential running mate. Republicans are going on the attack, however, against her new VP choice with accusations of stolen valor. Skylar Henry has more details from Washington, D.C.
Vice President Kamala Harris and her new running mate, Governor Tim Walz, are back on the campaign trail today, meeting with auto workers in Detroit this afternoon.
We have the numbers. We have the votes. And when we stand up united, we put fear in the hearts of the billionaire class.
Harris and Walz have been drawing huge crowds during the tour, with an estimated 15,000 in Detroit Wednesday and 12,000 in Eau Claire, Wisconsin earlier in the day.
I waited in the line to get parking for almost an hour, so you got to be dedicated if you're going to come to one of these.
The crowds show there is some momentum and enthusiasm among Democrats. Former President Trump is trying to blunt that momentum. He criticized the media's coverage on social media and falsely accused Harris of paying people to attend the rallies. Trump and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, are also going after Walz, attacking his military record.
He has not spent a day in a combat zone. What bothers me about Tim Walz is the stolen valor garbage. Do not pretend to be something that you're not.
That was a reference to this comment from Walz.
We can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
The Harris campaign responded, saying in his 24 years of service, the governor carried, fired, and trained others to use weapons of war innumerable times. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Missouri Representative Cori Bush, a notable member of the far-left squad, will be leaving Capitol Hill, having lost her primary Tuesday night. Bush lost to St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell, who was supported by AIPAC, a pro-Israel political action committee. Bell promises solidarity as he looks forward to his new role.
Anyone that I ran against, they may be an opponent, but they are not an enemy. Because at the end of the day, we need to move this region forward, and we're going to do it together, y'all.
Bush is the second member of the squad, a group of progressives recently elected to the House to lose her primary. Earlier this year, Jamal Bowman, a Democrat from New York, lost to a more moderate Democrat. That race for New York's 16th congressional district was the most expensive primary ever, with a tag price of almost $25 million, with AIPAC donating more than half of that. Yesterday, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin revoked the plea deal of those involved in the 9/11 terror attacks against America. Washington correspondent John Decker asked White House Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre about the decision.
Earlier asked White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre about the decision by Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin to revoke the plea deals of those involved in the 9/11 attacks on America.
Did the Secretary of Defense give a heads up to the President, the Commander-in-Chief?
This is a decision that he made on his own.
I understand. Can I just
I think that answers the question.
Well, it doesn't, because I want to know if...
For you, maybe, but go ahead.
Okay. I just simply wanted to know whether the Secretary of Defense gave a heads up to the Commander-in-Chief about his decision.
This decision was made by the Secretary. This was his decision to make. This is his decision to make. It was his... This was his decision to make. This is not something that we are involved in. The President, what I can say is the President has the full confidence of the Secretary. It was his decision to make.
The plea deal would have allowed the defendants to receive a life sentence rather than the death penalty for their actions on 9/11. The Defense Secretary has defended his decision to revoke that plea deal. At the White House, I'm John Decker.
We check in now with the weather and Chief Meteorologist Howard Manges, who's joining us from the Weather Center. Howard, what are things looking like outside? We still wet out there? Are we looking at any dry days coming up?
Yeah, we'll get some dry weather, but and it is wet out there today. Of course, we had some rain move through, but there's a lot going on and a lot to digest here. So flood watch is in effect for counties shaded in green. Again, until 2 a.m. It goes into effect tomorrow morning until 2 a.m. Saturday. When the heavy rain from this, what is now tropical storm or tropical depression, Debbie, lifts north. It will be crossing maybe directly overhead of us later tomorrow afternoon and evening. Again, we're going to be in a position where someone is going to get some very heavy rainfall, and then there's going to be a range as well. But we're also monitoring the risk of maybe a severe thunderstorm. Marginal risk 1 out of 5 and a slight risk 2 out of 5. This severe risk will likely be dependent upon the exact storm track. So if it moves a little bit farther east, that severe risk may shift east. If it moves west, it may shift west. But how much rain are we going to get, and how about the timing of it all? What about the rivers? I'll talk about it all coming up.
Looking forward to hearing about that as well. Thank you, Howard. Austrian authorities arrived on the scene in the small town of Turns Wednesday morning after unearthing a terror attack targeting the highest grossing tour in music history. At a press conference, Austrian police said the suspect arrested there was just 19 years old and had pled allegiance to ISIS at the beginning of July, allegedly focusing his attention on the upcoming Taylor Swift shows. Another person was arrested later in the day, 45 miles to the northeast in Vienna, where the concerts were set to take place. Authorities say both subjects were radicalized online. They are also investigating if there are possible co-conspirators. Police say they found the unidentified chemicals in the 19-year-old's residence, then called in a bomb squad and evacuated nearby homes. But a source tells CBS News there were not enough components to craft a functional explosive. The concert promoter later called off the shows.
It's very disruptive for the 200,000 ticket holders for those concerts, but safety is paramount.
Austrian authorities estimated that the 3 shows were expected to draw 65,000 fans each, with tens of thousands more congregating outside the venue in the parking lots. Yesterday's events in Austria brought back painful memories of a terror attack at an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, England 7 years ago. That bombing killed 22 people. It's a progressive disease in which tissues in the lungs become damaged. And while smoking is the most common cause of emphysema, it's not the only source. The American Lung Association says emphysema is not only caused by smoking, but also being around secondhand smoke for prolonged periods. Genetics can also be a cause, as well indoor and outdoor pollution, and many may not even know that they have it. Symptoms include coughing up mucus, wheezing, chest tightness, and breathlessness during everyday tasks.
I get breathless when I'm carrying groceries. I was fine in the store, but as soon as I carry groceries, I'm starting to get breathless. That's what we're looking for. And it's very insidious, it's very nonspecific, but clue your doctor in.
While there's no cure for emphysema, once there is a diagnosis that can be identified and lifestyle changes can be made to help spare the rest of the lung. The doctors say treatment options include inhalers and pulmonary rehab, but a diagnosis is needed first. Federal health officials are getting the word out that as kids head back to school, it's critical that they get their routine vaccinations so they are protected against diseases like the measles. There have been more than 200 cases of measles reported in 27 jurisdictions this year, more than triple the number of cases reported last year. Most are among children under 5 years old who were not vaccinated or their vaccination status is unknown.
We are seeing more cases of measles, and that is because measles is very contagious. It's one of the most contagious viruses that are out there, but we have a way to protect ourselves, and we want to make sure everyone is getting their vaccination.
New CDC data shows children born during 1994 through 2023, about 500 million cases of illness, 32 million hospitalizations, and around 1.1 million deaths will have been prevented through routine childhood vaccinations. When we come back, before we go anywhere though, we look at a dry downtown Binghamton from the top of the Security Mutual building.
When it comes to ghosts on CBS, seeing is believing.
Pete discovered his ghost power. He can leave the property.
Holy Toledo. 5 blades in one razor? There's literally no way you could have more. Oh my gosh, 6.
Oh, I'm panicking. Pete's too soft for this world.
Barack Obama, Av, and Eli Manning. Wait. Who are they? He must be so scared right now.
Ghosts returns October 17th, part of CBS Premiere Week on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Not sure what to do after a motorcycle crash? Call James Alexander Law. Here's a fact. The road can be a tricky place for motorcyclists. If you've been injured on a motorcycle through no fault of your own, get the facts and the help you need. Call James Alexander Law.
Since 1899, we have believed in providing genuine care so that others can have the hope for a better tomorrow and the courage to persevere.
NYCM Insurance, how can we help you?
Have you ever considered getting a walk-in tub? Well, look no further. Safe Step's best offer just got better. Now, when you purchase your brand new Safe Step walk-in tub, you'll receive a free shower package. Yes, a free shower package. And if you call today, you'll also receive 15% off your entire order. Now you can enjoy the best of both worlds. The therapeutic benefits of a warm, soothing bath that can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and even improve sleep. Or, if you prefer, you can take a refreshing shower all in one product. Call now to receive a free shower package plus 15% off your brand new Safe Step walk-in tub.
Call now, 1-800-443-7474. There's never been a better time. That's 1-800-443-7474.
The cost of living is brutal. Red tape is killing the economy.
Thankfully, Congressman Mark Molinaro is working across the aisle,
lowering costs on gas, groceries, even health care.
Mark grew up on food stamps, so he understands the struggles we face.
And now Congress has an opportunity to lower costs even more
by cutting red tape.
Go get him, Mark. Keep working for us.
Tell Congressman Mark Molinaro to keep fighting for lower costs and support the Red Tape Reduction Act.
Breaking news here in Metro Atlanta.
This is a hostage situation.
Rethink how you get breaking news. With Local News Live, you get the big national stories direct from local reporters. Reporters who know the streets and the people. Authentic, unfiltered, live where the story is. Stay close, stay connected, because the big breaking stories are best told by those who live it.
Local News Live, always streaming on all 12 News digital platforms.
Somber commemorations are being held on Maui today to mark a full year since one of the deadliest wildfires in U.S. history ripped through the island. The disaster killed at least 102 people and destroyed a large number of homes and businesses. Crews have cleared about 95% of the 2,200 structures leveled in Haluna, but only 47 building permits have been approved. For now, helping the displaced is the short-term priority. Today, difficult discussions about the future are on hold as Haluna reflects on all that was lost.
It's going to bring back a lot of emotion, especially for my wife. I always try to hide my emotions, but when I looking at her, always, I want her to be happy.
The survivors of the fires have reached a $4 billion settlement with several co-defendants, including the state of Hawaii. It's unclear how much each survivor is entitled to, and it could be years before they see any of the money. Tropical storm Debbie roared back ashore on South Carolina's coast early Thursday, unleashing heavy rains, storm surges, and tornadoes across the Carolinas. As Laura Geary explains, Debbie isn't the only weather-related threat bearing down on the southeast.
I dropped down to my knees and went to prayer.
Norman Toller was rousted from bed Thursday morning by a tornado bearing down on his North Carolina home.
I said, Lord, I've worked all my life for what I got here. Please don't take it.
It whirled past with only feet to spare, but his neighbor was not as lucky. A body recovered from this Wilson County home, adding to Debbie's death toll. About 70 miles southwest, this tornado swirled through Sampson County Wednesday. Residents in its path joining other storm victims on a long road to recovery. At one point Thursday, over 5 million people were under a tornado watch from North Carolina into southern Virginia. The days-long wave of twisters exacerbating already catastrophic storm impacts.
It's heart-wrenching.
Flooding remains a major issue. Since Monday, Debbie has dumped more than a foot of rain over parts of Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Forecasters say several dozen river gauges across the southeast could reach or exceed major flood levels and possibly stay that way into next week.
When we get this much water and the rivers back up on us, and there's really not a whole lot we can do.
Members of North Carolina's National Guard have been mobilized to assist in search and rescue.
We asked North Carolinians to be careful, to be safe, to pay attention to local officials.
Debbie is expected to pick up speed as it moves toward the northeast into Saturday. And dangerously high heat is straining storm recovery in Florida and Georgia, where thousands of customers still remain without power. In Charlotte, North Carolina, I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Well, we move from the southeast to the southern tier, and we check on the weather here in the 607. Chief Meteorologist Howard Manges joining us with our first alert weather forecast. Howard, what's going on outside?
Well, it's quiet right now. Things are wet. We've had some rain move through, and we're going to continue to watch some rain at times. But let's get right into the forecast. We've got a lot to talk about. There is Debbie, now down to a tropical depression down in the Carolinas, as we mentioned in the news package there. This storm is going to pick up speed as it moves over the next 24 hours. Again, some rain showers across the region. There's more rain down to the south. All of this is you know, it's not a problem, but all it's doing is making things a little bit wetter ahead of approaching heavy rainfall. We're in the 60s right now, a little bit of a cool day, but tropical depression, Debbie, 35-mile-an-hour winds right now. Again, this will lift off to the northeast, and this storm could pass directly over top of our area. In fact, it will likely anywhere in this cone of uncertainty, northeastern PA back to the Finger Lakes as well, later Friday. So we're Friday afternoon, dinner time Friday into the evening is when it will be passing overhead. Again, there's not much of a wind threat with the storm per se, but there could be some thunderstorms that maybe could produce some gusty winds and maybe some damaging wind. Excessive rainfall outlook, we're at a 3 out of 4. Again, thanks to Connor Thompson, I adjusted the timestamp. This is for Friday. It had said the incorrect date, so it's for Friday. Excessive rain, 3 out of 4 range, could mean some flash flooding developing in that area. So I mentioned the rivers as well. Take a look. This is late Friday through Saturday. Now, impactful river flooding is moderate or major flood stage. We're not worried about minor flood stage. Moderate and major. So looking at that moderate flood stage risk right now, it's low. Forecasts have come down a little bit. Rivers will rise Friday night, no doubt about it, into Saturday morning. They peak Saturday afternoon. The only places in minor flood stage right now forecast will be Conklin and Vestal on the Susquehanna, and the West Branch over in Walton will be at minor flood stage. And then no major or moderate flood stage is currently forecast. So we will, of course, be keeping a very close eye on it. As I mentioned yesterday, there are no indications of any similarity whatsoever to 2011. So maybe that helps a little bit. So timing it out here a little bit more. 12 to 8 a.m. Rain showers will be moving through. Could be a little bit heavy toward morning, especially well south and west of Binghamton. 9 to 5 tomorrow. Pockets of very heavy rainfall. We're talking 2, 3, maybe 4-inch-an-hour rainfall rates. True tropical downpours. Flash flood risk will be growing inside that time frame and inside those torrential downpours. A severe storm possible as well, maybe even, as we mentioned yesterday, an isolated tornado because of how the winds are shifting with height with this storm. Then 6 p.m. to 12 a.m., severe risk will end from west to east during that period, and the heavy rain, I think, is gone by around 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening, perhaps even a little sooner than that. Totals: 1.5 inches to maybe 3 inches of rain. There could be some isolated higher totals, especially if we get some stationary heavy rain bands. The severe outlook for tomorrow: a 2 out of 5 in the yellow, a 1 out of 5 in the green. The tornado risk of it's a 5 to 9% chance in the brown shading, a 2 to 4% chance. Does not guarantee a tornado. It's a low chance, but it's not a 0 chance. So this evening, scattered showers will wind down. Tonight could be a couple passing showers, especially toward morning. Now, late morning, mid-afternoon, some yellows and oranges showing up. That's the heavy rain. Midday, early afternoon, some heavy downpours, maybe a thunderstorm, maybe a severe thunderstorm. By 4 o'clock, heaviest rain shifting east. And then by dinner time, if we're lucky, that heavy rain is gone and things will be calming down substantially. And then things will be, just draining into the rivers, as we mentioned there. That 7-day forecast tomorrow, first alert day because of the heavy rain and flash flooding risk. Saturday, we dropped the first alert because, again, most of it is going to be on Friday. And then, again, the rest of the week here, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s.
Well, I was just going to mention it, but you already beat me to it, the drop of the first alert day on Saturday.
Yeah.
And for the latest first alert information, you can always download our free Storm Track 12 weather app or visit our website, WBNG.com. We'll be right back after this, though. Stay tuned.
We gave it more passenger space. We elevated the design. And with Google built-in, we made its tech intuitive. With the all-new Prologue, we've made it easy to go electric, just like you'd expect from a Honda. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
T-Mobile coverage in my area is wonderful.
We have 8 acres, and it gives you peace of mind to know that you're going to have a reliable signal. We enjoy hiking. We enjoy the outdoors. The coverage has been great.
And after investing billions to light up our network from big cities to small towns, T-Mobile is America's largest and fastest 5G network. See for yourself. Try T-Mobile's network free for 3 months. Your phone, our network, no strings.
Reasons to go to the Great New York State Fair, number 28. This goat. I mean, look at him. Hey, buddy. The Great New York State Fair. Great memories made here.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nanny gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
I'm Josh Riley, and here's the deal. On the border, I've opposed the president, and I'll fight for real solutions. More agents, stronger enforcement, and laws that are tough and fair.
Democratic candidate for Congress, Josh Riley, is demanding that career politicians secure the border.
I approve this message because for me, it's not about party. It's about doing right by upstate New York.
I'm Zach Grady, and for decades now, 12 Sports has been your home and your one-stop shop for everything athletic across the Southern Tier.
And this year's no different. We're practically everywhere. From inside the studio to out on the field, 12 Sports has got it all.
Summer, winter, or fall, basketball, baseball, and football.
You can count on 12 Sports to be everywhere and all things Southern Tier. This week, the 176th Shenango County Fair is going on. And in this Southern Tier throwback, we go to 2009 for a look at that year's fair.
The Shenango County Fair is open.
It's the biggest little fair in New York State.
In fact, organizers estimate 35,000 people turn out each year and expect an even bigger draw in 2009.
The economy's down. A lot of people are staying home and they're spending their vacation for us.
Families call it a bargain. Deli admission is only $5 and kids under 5 are free. But aside from the price, many parents say it's just a nice way to spend some time together as a family, building summer memories.
I think it's worth it to bring the kids instead of just sending them off somewhere, you know. They get to come and spend time with mom and dad.
It's a family event, you know. They like to come out, we like to come out.
There's plenty of food, lots of carnival rides, and different entertainment lined up for each day. And animal lovers, big and small, will love the large petting zoo.
It's an agricultural community, and this is an agricultural fair, and we really want to promote the agriculture in the community and the county.
And with gorgeous weather expected for this weekend, organizers hope you'll come by for some fun in the sun.
A new sport makes its Olympic debut tomorrow. It's called breaking. And if it looks familiar, you may recall this as break dancing. These moves have come a long way from the streets to the Paris stage. 29-year-old Jeffrey Lewis, known as B-Boy Jeffro, is one of 4 athletes representing Team USA in France. And unlike other athletic events at the Olympics, there is no scoring. There are no points in breaking. It's all comparative.
There's musicality, execution, vocabulary, technique, and originality. After you do your round, the bar moves. Who was more musical? And then technical. Who was more technical? Who had more vocabulary? Who had more of an original approach or style?
And while breaking gets hot in 2024, the International Olympic Committee says breaking will not return in 2028 for those summer games in Los Angeles. That allows other sports like baseball and softball to rotate back in. And that's it for us here at 5:30. But still to come on 12 News at 6, Tompkins County, well, they vote on a resolution that could lead to an increase in the minimum wage. We tell you how the vote went and the implications of it.